Okay, it is Wednesday, and this is web design. We worked on HTML for about 20-30 minutes, and then we worked on WordPress and got our documentation squared away. We went through website design and publishing, and then we went over what needs to be done for midterm work, which has to be done pretty much by Friday noon, most of it. Okay, so we talked about design and top down, bottom up. What we've already done is we've covered technology background. We looked at lots of different websites, some positive, negatives about websites, and so forth. We looked at the elements of a website. Should have an about. Should all websites have a main page? It should have good navigation. And what kind of navigation? What kind of pages should they all have? And so forth. And then probably the most important thing, at least from my opinion, you may differ, is what are you trying to accomplish with the website? And there was an assignment where people listed those, and there were some very good examples given. Okay, like selling or distributing pictures or just distributing information about yourself, or a business. All kinds of businesses, small to big, need to have a web presence, and etc. So there's all kinds of things. Okay, so what we're actually doing in class is bottom up, but I'm going to go over top down first. This whole idea, you analyze, know what exactly you want, and then you design and develop. Okay, and I kind of have those mixed together, and then you implement or you publish it. Let's take a look at that more specifically. We are doing WordPress, basically bottom up, and our HTML for our websites is bottom up. Let's look at it more specifically. Analysis would be the purpose. What do you want to accomplish with the website? Why? What goals you have? And so this could be a big part of any small business, personal websites, the whole bit. What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to do with the website? And in the next unit, we're going to talk a little bit about some websites' purpose maybe is not all that good, what they're trying to achieve. Okay, then you design it. You create a layout, what it might look like. For example, here I said here's the main page, and maybe this page goes to here, and then maybe this links to 2 pages. Then there's some way to link all the way back up to the main page, so you have navigation, what you want on the pages, and so forth. For a big, complicated site, this is a great idea right here. This is very important to make sure you have it all laid out before you start. On not as big of projects, a lot of people kind of tie the development in with the design. Okay? Really, this work really should be more at the development stage, even though people start creating little bits and pieces while they're thinking about the big design. We'll talk more about this next week. Implement it. You hear the term, you're going to publish the website. You want to make sure all the links are working, the pictures are good, they show up, the page loads well, people can navigate the pages, can get from one page to another, and so forth, this way, and all those things. You don't want to put a bad website out there. Now, what we're doing, we're doing it more bottom up in class. Even though our site's out there, we're not really publishing it to lots of people to look at and so forth. You get a little idea, like for example, my WordPress is a blog. I'm not sure all I'm going to do with it, but I kind of know I'm a blog. I used a theme from WordPress, so the design is started. And now I started developing it. Okay, you kind of work at it. everything together. So you think about some specifics that your clients might want, and then you use those to go up and build it into some type of web presence. It's bottom up. We create a prototype, okay, and then from that prototype we build it into a website, changing it as we go. So, bottom up design. A lot of people do it that way. That works in a lot of cases, except maybe something that's more complex. Let's say you're having people buy or sell from your site. It might seem that that's simple, but it's a little more complex, how they're going to order and so forth, and then making sure the money's exchanged and everything is secure. Okay, so there's a lot of things to think about. Next thing, let's take a look here at what we're doing HTML-wise. Okay, that first assignment we created were directories. Okay, and we started a document to represent those. And we put pictures in there and text in there. Then that document, we added to it in the next assignment a little bit HTML and a picture. And so then we added that to the document. And what did we put in the document? Well, we put the HTML code, and in this one we actually put a picture of the WinSCP file directory and a picture of the actual web page. Okay, then we did some basics. We had bold and unbold. They actually used the word strong. We created an unordered list, and we put some links in and so forth. So when we got done with all this, we made a picture of the website and we copied the HTML and we kept adding it to our document every time we submit the document. Currently we're working on cascaded style sheets. Those will drift over into next week, next part of midterm. But we'll get those done, and then that information we'll put into the document and submit that document. Okay? Alright, but we're at midterm. So any work that the students did not complete, okay, for whatever the reasons are, I'm not interested in the reasons. If you want to make up anything that you have a 0 for in the work, you need to do that by Friday. Preferably noon on Friday of this week. Yeah, that's 10, 20, 17, okay? So you can check, you know, if you've been sick or you've been gone or you had trouble with your technology, whatever, you go ahead and do those, and then I'll grade them. If you don't see them graded after you get them done, you might drop me a note to make sure I get back in and I find them. But they should show up. This work needs to be done. This is a multiple choice test primarily over units 1 and 2. Okay? It's in Canvas, and you can do it on your own. You can use your outline for notes, just don't have anybody help you. You do it on your own. So you can get this completed, and we're not going to proctor it. First, we were going to proctor, have you take it in the Student Learning Center, but I decided for this one, for the midterm, you can just take it on your own, and I'll trust you not to have somebody help you. But if you want to look up some things in terms of, if you want to check your outline, because it's really based on the outline, the first 2 units. So you need to have that done by Friday noon. And then this is a little more work, okay? This is more of an essay. You have to respond to some of the objectives from units 2 and 3. You got to pick 4 objectives and write a short paragraph on each one, okay? And that is also due Friday at noon. You'll submit your document. I give you a document, and then you share a link to that document, and then you do the work. Okay? This, we'd like to have you submit by Friday, but the due date isn't until Wednesday. Here, you're going to put in your design. You're going to list what kind of page you want, the purpose of your page. You're going to list what key elements you think it should have, and you're going to list, some other items in terms of your website. And here we're thinking about the website you're doing in WordPress. Okay? In WordPress. And the details are in there. Now, that's going to be that's a discussion. So what you do in the discussion forum, you're going to list a little explanation of your site, and then you're going to attach a document with those items in it. And those items are explained there in the discussion. Okay? And then everybody's going to look at it. Does that make sense? So people will look at your document and say, hey, yeah, this is a good idea, I like this, do you ever think about doing this, or whatever. And so we're all going to have an eye. That's supposed to be an eye. Okay. Little bloodshot. An eye looking at each other's documents so that we can produce the best website with the help of everyone else. All right. That is it. Can you believe it? Midterm. I'll tell you, important to get this stuff done. I will give you a grade based on whatever your grade is in Canvas on Friday. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know.